All right, guys. Let's see. All right. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Just getting things set up. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hurley Investments Trade Findings and Adjustments of August 1st, 2024. Man, this week has been kind of wild. Let me get these dates changed. Last time was July 25th. This time is August 1st. Last time we talked a little bit about what was let's look at the market here. What was causing all this big pullback down to the 50-day? Talked about rotation, profit taking, a little bit of bad earnings from some companies in the market, and things started to tank. We were watching support levels, we were watching our individual stocks. Talked about adding covered calls. We did that to Google. We took those back off. We took profits on puts that we could take profits on. We did roll down. I think we rolled, I remember. Let's see. Well, in a roundabout way, we rolled a few things. What I mean by roundabout is we had this big bounce yesterday, and on a few things we really were able to take advantage of some things. Let me see. There we go. I don't know why that did that. So what the heck? You guys know that I love Microsoft Word. Okay. So earlier this week, a couple days ago, we had on NVIDIA puts that were making good money on the way down. But we came to this point where on the 30th, just 2 days ago, so that'd been Tuesday, we hit this nearly oversold point where last time NVIDIA was this close anyway. It wasn't even oversold totally, but this close to being oversold. We had a 76 up to 83, the $7-8 bounce. So we decided to take a little flyer and we added, can't remember if it was on the 30th or the but it was getting close though. We just decided to take a flyer and add 115 calls. We had puts on in the money, added. I'll show you the numbers. I took a screenshot of one account just to show you and give you an idea of what was done. We added long calls, seeing Nvidia come close to oversold on the idea that we could catch a quick bounce back up to the 50-day moving average. We were correct and booked a nice little profit on long calls and put protection. Protection. Weren't looking to hold on, weren't looking to really count on a reverse like this, an extended time. We're just looking to find a little bit of profit on a bounce back up, and that's what we did. We booked a nice little profit. Helped us get a little more because puts are just so ridiculous expensive on Nvidia. So it's nice to get a little more profit with those calls in addition to the puts. So I don't like to toot my own horn, but that was freaking amazing. Let me take that back. I do like to toot my own horn, just not very often. We get something like this and it's just an interesting opportunity and it works out, and it's really nice when things work out the way that you see them. What else did we do? Let's see. We had booked profits on several other puts. I'm going to say, what are we up to? Continuing with Nvidia, of course, this morning, everything was up so nicely. We were up almost, let's see, the high was 55.66 on this S&P. Everything looked great this morning. We got the Fed coming out yesterday and saying that they are liking how inflation's coming down, and also there's a September rate cut that is still on the table. So theoretically, everything should have been continuing up. It's not what happened. 50-day was touched by Nvidia and it came back down. And this time we got 114 puts back on and 125 short calls this time to help pay for those expensive, ridiculously expensive puts. As Nvidia cannot seem to, at least for right now, get above the 50-day, and we are just playing the next direction. And we added short calls. 125 strike, short calls to help pay for puts and make a little more on the way down. So this, let's see, making sure there's no personal information here. This is all just kind of what we've been up to in one account. So obviously this would translate to all of the accounts that would have these positions: Nvidia, Micron, Google, Disney. Just to give you an idea of what we've been doing in general, but I liked to get just this snapshot of one account that has, here's our quantity in various positions to give you an idea how much was made on a little more of a direct idea. Usually we're showing like aggregated a bunch of accounts, but I thought this might be interesting just to see one. Nvidia 132 puts, we booked nearly $2,000. So 132 way back up here. I mean, that was a good chunk. I would have liked to make more, but those are just ridiculously expensive. I don't know how else to say it. Google 185s. Just look at Google. 185, so again started to come back. Realized things were starting to turn over. Got those 185s on. Booked those on the 11th. So let's see. That's not when we booked them, that's when we put them on. Oh, date close. Here we go, 22nd. So maybe a little early. but it was bouncing off that 50-day. And look, we got 180s back on Google, which, geez, how amazing to both catch this bit, look at a bounce, get protection back on. Obviously, we had earnings, so we needed protection back on. Got another $1,200 from booking those. And see, there's Google, 190 call. Not crazy amounts of money, but for an account with 500 shares of Google, making another 400 to book a profit on the way down here. So that's what, 11 plus 12, so 23, $2,700. I'll let you do the math there. Disney. Disney, we had 95 puts. 95. Yeah, I wish I could have gotten 98. Left 100s on. But stop breaking this. What, 96.50 level? Got 95s on. Booked a profit for those and for $1,400, which we rolled down 90s. Looks like rolled down 290. Excuse me, those were extra puts. I forgot about that. We had added 95s and then added 90s in case it continued down. And you can see the quantity here for the 95s. There's 8 contracts. You can bet that was for 800 shares. And then we added 2 extra puts. Got a little extra protection in case it kept going down. Only lost a little bit as it bounced again. Nice profit on those puts though, the main ones. And I think we have, what, 92 puts on right now? 91 or 92, I can't remember, but we obviously still have earnings, so we still need protection there, but rolling protection down is kind of the name of the game where you think you might be getting some bounce and good earnings. Disney in particular, you guys know, you've seen the numbers they've had for their movie. Now I'm drawing a blank. Their Pixar movie. We've also got the new Wolverine movie that is not doing nearly as well, but for a adult R-rated film, breaking records that direction. All right, so then we've got video. We had 132 puts. Kind of already talked everything about in video, but want to make sure we covered the bases. Booked a profit on 132 puts, booked a profit on 118 puts, 132, 118, and 115 call. So we made more on our 115 call when it bounced yesterday, booked a quick profit. But we made more on the 115 call than we made on the 118 puts. You add in the 132s and we really didn't do, we could have done a lot worse. I'll say it that way. So last one, Micron. I don't know why I said it that way. Wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Micron did a pretty good job on the way down. So let's see, almost $10,000 on this account on 800 shares at 128 puts. We had 145s, I think, at one point. We booked a profit on those. 128 as it started to break the 50-day. Made those. Booked a profit. Did bounce yesterday. So that looked smart for one day, but we're back down. And this morning, I got protection back on. Just take some notes here. I'll say in all other accounts with these stocks. Protection back on this morning as Nvidia, Micron, couldn't, I'll say, and Bank of America, because that is one couldn't hold gains. So it was 106 puts this morning for Micron, which I caught that at a pretty darn good spot, if I say so myself. Nvidia, we got 114. Wish I could have done better there, but had a little more patience with Nvidia just because after getting some positive comments from Powell after this big jump, wanted to make sure we weren't throwing things on when it could easily reverse and go back up, but it just nothing was really holding up. And as the market in general started to lose gains across the board, go negative, it just made sense. We got 114 puts on with 125 short calls. I think I already mentioned that. $114. Almost 6 micron. There I go again. Why am I saying it like that? Bank of America. We got 40 strike puts on Bank of America, as this is a support level here, and also we've got the 50-day, so multiple things. That broke the 50-day. All right. I'll actually leave this closer up here. Just come down. What happened to our market? What happened to our market? This is a question for you guys. Such good news. Yesterday from Powell's comments. We had great news. Why on earth are things coming back down? Dave said recession fears. Yes. I think you could say that. What I would say, I'll just put that, Dave, with a question mark. We had specifically manufacturing numbers coming out showing manufacturing is slowing significantly. Just one F and significantly for those of you wondering. Bill says Israel war, Black Swan. I haven't heard anything new about the Israel war. Have you, Bill? Certainly isn't going to help the market, but I mean, that started back in October. We've been on the biggest Yeah, the attack in Iran to kill a terror leader. Yes, I heard about that. I don't think that's what's affecting our market today. I was saying, yeah, I mean, our market's gone basically straight up since the war in Iran, Israel, excuse me, started. I mean, yeah, the only thing we're really watching there is how that might affect gas prices, price of oil. And we made some money on MRO till we found out they're going to get bought by ConocoPhillips, and we're out of there and made our money and look for maybe the next opportunity. Not seeing that as the reason right now, though, Bill. I don't think the market is monitoring that with great importance. It does look like this is a direct reaction to manufacturing numbers, slowing economy. Basically, the only thing up on my list is not the only thing, but basically the only thing up is Meta. Verizon's up nice, but it kind of trades in its range and does what it does. Meta was up like 7% earlier. $520 only up to $503. So to get back to Dave's comment, recession fears is kind of, yes, what it is, and it's maybe not exactly recession, but just slowing economy. We're not there for yet thinking about recession, I don't think, but the market. You heard Kevin talk about the last several webinars. He talked about the last couple of webinars about the bad news being good news, where we're seeing things slow down for some companies, inflation slowing down, which is good, and how the market has run up based on those bad news things being good news. But we've made that run up now, and as the market is forward looking, it looks like some of the bad news, now that we're expecting some rate cuts sooner than later, are becoming bad news is bad news. So to summarize, we've talked about how bad news is good news, where slowing economic numbers mean we are likely to get rate, oh my goodness, cuts now that we've had the market run for 9 months or so and close to rate cuts, the market is starting to look at bad news as bad news. The hope is that the Fed wasn't too late in cutting. Meta's not having trouble making money in this market. Disney's not having trouble with their parks, their movies. They're just having trouble with people seeing anything good coming out of Disney, even though they're doing positive things. Banks have made great money. Those are starting to pare back now, but watch it bounce again. Guys, is there any questions? I'm just kind of adding things on and thinking about things and just kind of showing you all the things we've been up to and all the things we've been looking at. We are doing our best to make money on the way down and still leave open some money to be made on the way up for good earnings. Next up is going to be Nvidia here pretty soon. In fact, let's just look at some of the earnings coming up. All right, I got to freaking log in again. Give me a second. McDonald's. Morning. What was that? That was a couple days ago. Sorry. Not this morning. Tons of stuff reporting. 30th. What? Merck, PayPal, Pfizer. I'm seeing a lot of green here. This is showing that companies are beating their numbers. AMD, that also helped Nvidia and Micron bounce the other day, yesterday. Huge numbers coming out of AMD. We should be getting huge numbers coming out of Micron and Nvidia. Microsoft, I think, had lower guidance. Which may be also contributing to the story of things slowing down. Guidance is coming down. Tough for investors to justify prices. If you go back to, and Kevin spoke on it, several times, but if you go back to the July 7th, I think, Monday webinar from Kevin, I think that's the one he's talking about how some of these stocks are priced and how they come down because it's hard for investors to justify the prices on future earnings when their guidance comes down. Not seeing anything interesting. Just, man, whoa, tons of crap. So this is today, Thursday. Bear with me. This is later today. Roku. Tomorrow we have AMC. All right, let's look at the next week. I know we're running a little longer. Just wanted to see some what we've got in the way of earnings coming up. Tyson Foods. Tuesday next week. Airbnb. August 7th. There it is, Disney. All right, it's a waste of time. I'm just going to look up on mine of the ones we care about. We've got earnings today for Apple after the close. We got 225 puts on Apple. Baidu is later on the 22nd. Don't care about Boeing right now. I just showed you Disney on the 7th. Meta was yesterday afternoon. Micron's not until way out in the end of September. Nvidia, though, is end of August, 8/28. So, unless we get some sort of reversal run into earnings, right now Nvidia does not look like it wants to head up, which is just amazing because AMD is down almost 6% on such good earnings. So real quick, why Micron? Why did Micron, Nvidia, why are those falling? It looks like the US is considering possibly restricting what China can buy in the form of chips and manufacturing machines to manufacture chips. So that's the damper that is being run with today, unfortunately. Don't know why I didn't mention that earlier. Google already had their earnings. Under Armour, August 8th. Verizon had their earnings. They did pretty good. So, bunch of stuff. A lot of things to think about, but a lot of things really going pretty good, and in spite of some negative stuff. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. Sorry to take you so long, but thought it was worth just thinking about looking at a few more things. Um, yeah. Any questions before we hang it up? Thanks, Keeve. You're welcome. Thanks, Dave, for your comment. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Bill, for your comment. We will talk to you guys next time. Take care.